So let us continue with the discussion of karma. This is the second lecture in the series of lectures about the karma. So what's the cost of the inequality that exists among mankind? Why are people different? Why should one person be brought up in the lap of luxury and another in absolute poverty, steeped in misery? Why are this difference? Why are we different? Like our faces, every face is different. It is because of one's own karma, you know. K-A-R-M-A. And everyone's karma, it's different. It's extremely difficult to find two karmas the same. It's just like it's extremely difficult to find two persons look exactly the same. Even twins, you may not be able to identify, but their parents can identify. They have difference. So everyone's karma, you are born with that invisible bag of karma behind you in this world. Everyone is different. And what is karma? Literally, it means an accumulation of our deeds, words, and thoughts. I said last time, I defined it. I didn't define it myself. It's delineated by the sutras. And it's good to repeat it because you never get a message across to people unless you repeat it 3 times. So karma is an accumulation of one's deeds, words, and thoughts. Not of just this life, since the timeless beginning. Since many, many lives ago. You've been accumulating that. Why? Because you have actions of the body, speech of the mouth, thoughts of the mind. Don't you have those things? That's you. You speak, you act, you think. And all these things add up to karma, you know. Any kind of intentional action, what I mean is intentional. You can't be absent-minded. Absent-minded doesn't count because you don't mean it. And any kind of intentional action, whether mental, verbal, or physical, is regarded as karma. So generally speaking, all good, bad, or neutral action constitute karma. The nature of every action, from a perspective of morality, can be classified as virtuous, non-virtuous, or neutral. Or simply put, good, bad, or neutral. So what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're speaking, what you're acting is either wholesome, which is good, unwholesome, bad, or neutral. Either. It's one of the 3. So according to sutras, all sentient beings are going through samsara, the unending cycle of birth and rebirth. You are in samsara. You don't have just this lifetime, you know. You have a previous lifetime. You reincarnate. In this unending cycle, we call it samsara because we reincarnate in retribution to the karma that we have created. In retribution to? What does that mean? What does that? What do you mean by a person, everybody, reincarnate in retribution to one's karma that one has been building up? What does that mean? It means that the reason why you are what you are now, the reason why you are what you are now, pretty or ugly, fortunate or unfortunate, intelligent or foolish, having a happy marriage or a sad marriage, having a lovable home or a broken home, a good husband or a bad husband, an unfaithful wife, having a amicable personality or a despicable personality, obnoxious personality. Why are people different? It's because you build it up. The reason why you are what you are now is it's because of your own karma, what you have done in the past. The past, of course, includes your previous life as well as the past of this life. So don't blame any supernatural being for what you are now. Don't blame your mom, your dad, give you birth to this world congenitally, give you that good look or that bad look, or give you the misery or the richness. It's you yourself who created this. Specifically speaking, some people may not understand, oh, karma, yes, we created karma. So how do we create karma? We've been creating karma. Well, how do we create it? You don't know about this? You don't even know how you create your own karma? That's what we call ignorance. You don't even know. In other words, the criminal was declared by the judge to say guilty. Not acquitted, it's guilty. And the criminal said, I didn't know what I was guilty of. I didn't even know. I'm sorry, you're sent to the chamber for sentencing, for execution, and still you don't know. You don't know what kind of mistakes you have made. Isn't that what we call ignorant? And ignorance is the root of all of samsara. How do we create karma? How do we in our daily lives, how do we create karma? Do you know how? How do you create? How do you exist? How do you respond to the outside world as an individual? You think, right? You speak, you act. How do you act? In your acting, you either act something wholesome or unwholesome, good or bad. Let's just streamline it to 10 things, because there's a whole spectrum of actions that you can do. Volitional actions, a whole spectrum, unlimited actions, unlimited speeches, unlimited words, unlimited thoughts. So we have to streamline our discussion into maybe 10 things. Did you kill? Have you ever killed? No, I didn't kill anybody. If I killed anybody, I would have been sentenced to death already. I've been in jail already. You didn't kill. Did you eat meat? Do you know that you're supporting people killing animals for food? Have you visited slaughterhouses? Did you go to the supermarket to buy steak, fish, meat, all these things? Where did these things come from? Come from killing animals. Do you know how animals get killed? You're not killing them directly, but you support the killing. If you don't eat meat, there will be no killing. You know how cows get killed brutally? How pigs, chickens, how chickens get abusively killed, cruelly killed. Visit the chicken farms, turkey farms. Thanksgiving Day is coming up. That little roasted turkey appear on your dinner table, stuffed with all the stuffings you want. And you toast it. Reunion of family, everybody healthy and sound. And you don't know that all these turkeys have a family too. They also have children. They also have mom and dad. And you separated them, you kill them. You kill animals, you separated their reunion, and you're looking for your own reunion. That's what we call unwholesome. That's what we call killing. What kind of cruelty will render to animals? Unbelievable. You said you're not killing. You've been killing every day indirectly. That's your karma. And of course, some people hunt. They go hunting. They hunt deers, moose. In Africa, they hunt lions. They hunt animals. They kill animals for pleasure. That's karma. And if I just started to talk about killing, and you said you didn't kill, how much you have killed, directly or indirectly. Second, did you steal? I didn't steal any. I never shoplifting. I never did anything like that. Stealing means greediness. Do you have greediness in your mind? Do you have that tendency or that subconscious to steal? Do you have that subconscious to possess, to get possessions that don't belong to you? Oh, you do. I do. Subconsciously. But I can stop it right at where it originates. Can you stop that? Stealing. If we want to cover the subject of stealing, we can go into details as to how we actually are committing stealing every day. You go to a gas station, you pump in the gas, you look at the meters, every meter is a penny, and somehow you want to crank as much as you can, and you want to get in between the 5 and the 6 so that you save half a penny. You want to get some water. You want to rip off other people. And there's a long line up. You want to squeeze in so that other people have to wait, you don't have to. A lot of selfishness is involved in daily lives. Don't you realize that? Stealing. You're working in a company. You're always stealing the company's stationeries for your kids. The pencils, pet books, highlighters, clipboards, papers. Did you bring them home? You're working in a warehouse. You saw something nice. You stuff it in your pocket. Nobody noticed, but karma noticed it. Karma noticed it. You can't get away with it. You got to pay. So, killing, stealing, third, sexual misconduct. Are you practicing monogamy? One wife, one husband? Are you actually doing promiscuity? Promiscuous. In other words, fooling around. Are you fooling around? Or, some people practice celibacy. They are pure. They don't want to get involved with that kind of thing. And you have a lot of ideas in your mind. You want to involve yourself with the pleasures dealing with that kind of thing. My list can go on. What did you do? How do you speak? Did you lie? Do you slander people? Do you do tattletale, equivocating? Do you do frivolous talk? Flowery speech, cursing, yelling? Did you curse on the road when you're driving? You curse to yell in the family, at home? All these actions, volitional actions pertaining to the body, to your speech, to your thought. How do you think? Are you egoistic? Are you compassionate? Are you kind? Are you generous? So I'm giving you a lot of negative stuff. How about the positive stuff? Killing. How about people who are kind and compassionate? Vegetarian. They never kill animals. They're kind to animals. They're struggling for animal rights. And there are some people who demonstrate for showing objections to cruelty to animals and the training of animals for the zoo. Do you know how elephants get trained? How animals, lions and tigers and monkeys and dogs get trained for entertainment, for zoos? Oh, this is cruelty. Elephant, 2,000 pounds of elephant have to be trained to stand on one foot. And they go starvation. They go on. They ill-treated animals when they're training them. So all these things. I can go on and go on, but I didn't have that much time to go on to say, what did we do? I didn't do anything wrong. You don't even know the wrongs that you have done. Or you don't even know the wrongs that I have done. I have done a lot of wrongs also. Slowly, we realized it. We know. We change, we reform. So, I said I give you the negative stuff. How about the positive stuff? Instead of not killing, you're being compassionate, you're kind, and instead of stealing, of course, you abstain from stealing, but you're giving out, you're generous, you are charitable, you want to give donations, you want to help others, you're very helpful. That's the positive side. You're helpful not only to your relatives and friends, you're helpful to people at large. Sexual misconduct, you're not doing that. No promiscuity, no fooling around, you're practicing celibacy. You modified your desire, you're an ascetic, you stay pure. You're practicing fidelity to the marriage. You're loyal. How about frivolous talks and cursing and yelling? You always watch your speech. You always mean what you say. You're always honest in your speech. You say the right thing. You're trustworthy. There's the positive and the negative sides. There's the wholesome and the unwholesome side. You created your own karma. You did all that, good or bad. Good karma, you cultivate the cause, would lead to the good effect. Bad karma, you cultivate the bad cause, would give you bad effect. So, the Samyutta Nikaya states, that's a discourse, there's a book called Samyutta Nikaya. It says, according to this, and I quote from there, according to the seed that's sown, so is the fruit you reap therefrom. Doer of good will gather good, doer of evil, evil reaps. Down is the seed, and thou shalt taste the fruit thereof. So that means happiness and misery are not rewards and punishment from a supernatural being. Not from a supernatural being. They are the inevitable effects of the causes that you have performed yourselves. The working of karma is not a subject which could be easily understood by the ordinary intellect. Only the Buddha can fully comprehend this intricate law, as it involves causation, the law of causality. Every thought, utterance, and deed of yours is a seed that ripens over time until it comes to fruition as an event or circumstance. Every action which is a cause will have a result. Likewise, every resultant action has its cause. But then some people may ask, you believe in karma, then does the doctrine of karma repudiate any notion of fate or fixed destiny, or you believe in a fixed destiny? Everything is predetermined. I did something wrong and I have this bad karma, so everything is predestinated. There's a destiny. That's fatalism. So I don't have to, nothing I can do. I have done something wrong and I faced it, and it's predestination. What can I do? No, that's not the attitude. Because you have every opportunity to create new favorable karma that leads towards progress. You also have that every opportunity to create bad new karma that leads you to a downfall. You do them with your own hands. You created them yourself. You understand? Karma is self-created. Let me tell you a story. At the time of Sakyamuni Buddha, once the Buddha was falsely accused of fathering a certain woman's child. Fathering a child, that means fooling around. So the Buddha was wrongly accused of fooling around with a woman and had a son. When the deceit was discovered, the Buddha's followers wanted to punish the culprit. And the Buddha calmly stopped them, saying, "Oh, monks, in a previous lifetime when I was a king, I was once strolling and sightseeing in a forest with my courtiers and imperial concubines, and we saw an ascetic monk meditating in a grove the ladies were curious and surrounded him, turning their backs to me, and I was jealous and angry. Being jealous and angry, I exclaimed, and I said to them, I yelled to them, how do you know that he does not spend his nights reveling with women? How do you know? He's not a good monk. How do you know that he didn't spend his nights reveling with women? And it is because of that slanderous remark that I had to endure the woman's deceit. O monks, please release her and let her go in peace. You see, the Buddha in his previous lifetime was a king. The cause is he slandered an ascetic monk without reason. And in his later lifetime, the effect is he got slandered himself. So what's the cause of karma? As I said, ignorance or not knowing things as they truly are is the chief cause of karma. Associated with ignorance is craving for desires, another root of karma. Evil actions are conditioned by ignorance and craving. Why do you create bad karma? Because you don't know that you're committing mistakes. You're ignorant and you have craving, you have desires. You want to satisfy your desire, so you don't care. As long as you satisfy your desires, you want to do what you want. You don't care about the result. Ordinary people, confused sentient beings, they worry only about the effect. They don't care about the cause. Because in the process of creating the cause, they only want to satisfy themselves, satisfy their senses, satisfy their desires. They don't perceive into what's the consequence of this. They didn't see the consequence of everything they do. They just look for happiness. They don't care. But Bodhisattvas, when they do anything, when they speak, when they think, when they act, they always think of the consequence first, the effect first. You see the difference? An intelligent person would consider the effect of something, the consequence of something, before doing it. But the foolish and the corrupt, they don't care about the consequence. They just want to satisfy their happiness. The so-called happiness, quote and unquote, is satisfying their senses. As long as they feel good, their eyes feel good, they want to see something good, hear something good, taste something good, smell something good, touch something good, satisfy all these 6 senses, then they can do what they want. Why do they hunt? Because they like this hunting. They like to have this idea that they're dominating. They can kill. They have the right to kill. They have the right to dominate. They have the right to control. They have the right to say, this should be dead, this should be alive. They want to be a tyranny in their subconscious mind. Why do people get argument? Because they have this strengthened self-respect in them, which we call ego. They have this egoistic feeling that that ego does not want to be diminishing. So that's the argument. So to escape suffering, what do? We must stop the causes of suffering to escape suffering. Not just escape the consequences. You can never get away from the consequences. But you can stop creating causes of suffering. Analyze the causes of suffering. Stop creating the causes. Imagine if you are parenting children and you tell them, children, in whatever you're doing, always think of the effects. Always think of the consequence. Don't just blindly do things as you want. I don't care, just do it. No, that's not the right attitude. What should be our attitude when we are facing a bad karma then? Actually, this doctrine of karma gives consolation, hope, reliance, and moral courage to us. When the unexpected things happen and we encounter difficulties, failures, and misfortune, we should realize that we are reaping what we have sowed, and we are actually wiping off a past debt, or the so-called burning off a bad karma. So when you get married, you were in love, husband and wife, and become husband and wife to get married, and then after 1 or 2 years, the marriage goes sour. Infidelity, they want to go separated. And you say, oh, we were in love before and now it's a broken marriage. It's a bad karma. Yes, a bad karma. You faced it up. You're burning off a past debt. It's because you have already have this cause before, either in your previous life or in this life. There's so many causes that lead to a consequence. You faced it. You plant good seeds in their place. You do good things. You be careful. You become loyal. You become kind and compassionate. You don't argue. You choose the right person. You make your selection. You analyze. You don't rush into any kind of marriage. So many things to have to analyze and think about. That's the way you should teach, you should parent your children. Explain. And I know that some parents don't even have time for their children. So, burning off bad karma. When you face difficulties, you're just burning off bad karma. Instead of hopelessly resigning yourself, leaving everything to karma, you should make a strenuous effort to pull the weeds and sow useful seeds in their place. For the future is in your own hands. So, there's so many kinds of karma. If we consider karma from the perspective of time, we have immediate karmas, we have subsequently effective karma, and we have indefinitely effective karma. 3 kinds. From the perspective of time. There's so many classifications of karma from perspective of morality, from time, from different angles. But for now, given the time that we have, why don't we consider karma with perspective of time? Some karma are immediate karma, subsequently effective karma, and indefinitely effective karma. What is immediate karma? So you realize the effect in the present lifetime for the causes you have done. You realize the effect immediately in this life, not waiting for the next life to realize the effect. You realize the effect in this life. And let me tell you a story to support that. At the time of Sakyamuni Buddha, a hunter who was going to the forest, followed by his dogs, met a monk who was proceeding on his alms round. Monks, they hold a bow and going on alms round and in the afternoon. So the monk was proceeding on his alms round, and there was a hunter going to the forest, followed by his dogs. And of course the hunter saw that monk. Oh, that's the monk, and they're going on alms round. And during the day, however, the hunter could not procure any game. He didn't kill any animals. He couldn't find any animal. So he didn't procure any gain. And he thought his bad luck was because he met the monk. I met that terrible monk, and that's why I have this bad luck. So he said, no, that's the reason. So while returning home, he met the same monk again. He met him again. And his anger was aggravated by this second encounter. You see, I was unlucky, and I met that monk, and now I met him again, and this monk is going to give me bad luck. And his anger was aggravated by this second encounter. The hunter was enraged and set the dogs on the monk. Go and get him. So the dogs rushed and tried to get the monk. The monk fled for his life, and climbed up a tree to avoid the dog. The hunter was infuriated, because the dog couldn't attack him. He was on a tree, climbing up a tree. The dog couldn't climb up, So the hunter climbed up the tree himself, and he used this arrow to pierce the soles of the monk's feet. spike at the monk's feet. The pain was unbearable, and the monk trembled and yelled for forgiveness. His robe fell down. The monk's robe fell down and completely covering the hunter, the rope. The excited dogs, thinking that the monk had fallen down a tree, attacked their own master and torn him to pieces. That's immediate karma. Immediately he got the karma. So that's what we mean by immediate karma. And that kind of immediate karma happens all the time. You lie, somebody found out. You stole something, the company found out, you got fired. You didn't pay attention to your education, you dropped out from school. So there's a lot, in daily life there's a lot of immediate karma. That's the bad side. The good side, after you become a Buddhist, you are so nice to your family members, and your wife said, "Hey John, you've changed. You are not the same person as before. You were much kinder. You were much compassionate. You were yelling all the time before, and now it seems that you changed your personality. What's wrong with you?" Something happened to you. That's immediate karma. Because you changed. Because you were influenced by the Buddha's teaching, by the energy around you, by your own subconscious thinking, by your own thought. You have seeds of thought in your alaya consciousness, and those seeds, water have been poured into them. Some fertilizers have been put into them by that monk, or by some other people, by your gurus, by your teachers, by the books you read. This water, this fertilizers, with the sunlight of your meditation, of your investigation analysis, sprouts into shoots, little plants now. They're not flowering as yet, they're not blooming as yet, but there are these shoots coming out now. There's hope, there's greenery. And you start to be compassionate, you change, you're not egoistic anymore, you're not selfish anymore, and all the family members were happy. That's your immediate karma. You changed yourself. You don't need anybody to change you. You yourself, you can change it. So that's immediate karma. So what is subsequently effective karma? Subsequently effective karma. What does that mean? Subsequently effective karma is karma you would pay for in your next life. Just the following life. You will pay for it in your following life. You wouldn't get the effect in this life. And some people say, I have done a lot of good things. I have cultivated a lot of good causes, and how come I don't get the merits? I've started to be very compassionate, I'm doing a lot of good things, I'm donating, and I'm doing other things. I still have difficulties in life. How come? It's not fair to me. Well, you are taking a McDonald's hamburger approach, fast food approach. You want to do something nice, and you immediately will want to get the result in 3 minutes. You want a 3 minutes rice cooking. 5 minutes is not quick enough. 3 minutes. So you want to donate $5, and you say, "Oh, today I've done something good. I donate $5, and maybe next year I'll get a promotion. I'll get a promotion for $500 promotion in gain, which is pretty good. I gave for $5 and I got $500 in return." That is a 3 minutes cooking rice approach to karma. So at the time, let me tell you another story. At the time of Sakyamuni Buddha, there was a farmer who met a wandering monk looking for a place to settle down for meditation. The monk requested a patch of his land to build a hut as his residence so that he can practice. The farmer delightfully granted his request. Venerable, you want to practice meditation, you have nowhere to go, you've been wandering, and please, okay, let me help you. I'll give you this patch of land, and if, in case you want any wood or bamboos or anything like that, let me know, I'll help you out. So he helped the monk to build his hut for meditation. So after a few years, the farmer passed away, and one day the monk was in meditation. And in his equanimity, peace of mind, reposed mind, he saw the farmer who passed away, descending from the sky again, descending from the sky. And the farmer's body was emanating with light, like a celestial being, a heavenly being, and said to him, Venerable, I have come to thank you for using my land as your place for practicing meditation. Because of this merit, I am now reborn in heaven, enjoying happiness and long life. You are really a precept abiding, a precept observing monk, and you are really diligent monk. Your practice glorifies the land. Please continue. There's a lot more merits behind you. And then suddenly, that celestial being, being the reincarnated body of that farmer, suddenly disappeared. So that's subsequent karma. The farmer donated that piece of land out of his heart, out of his compassion, because he wanted to help out that wandering monk. And in his next life, when he passed away, he was reborn in heaven. But mind you, heaven is not the ultimate place to go. You still have to go into samsara. Heaven, you still have to die. You must get out from samsara. Even heaven is not the final destination. But if you build enough good merits, you're not in this world. This is not heaven. This is the kamadhatu, the world of desires with suffering. This is the world with suffering, with a mixture, with a combination of suffering and happiness. But in heaven, there's only happiness. We are not qualified yet. You and I, we were not qualified for going to heaven because you and I, we did bad karma as well as good karma before. If you did only good karma, you were already in heaven. You're not here listening to me. You're already in good heaven. But you are not in heaven. Why? We are of the same standing, more or less. We call it group karma. I told you the different kinds of karma. Group karma and individual karma. This world is for us all, you and I, as a group. We live in this world. This world is a group, collective karma for us. We share the same world. Save on Food, for example, that supermarket is a collective karma for every one of us because every one of us have that right to go in there to shop. There's a collective karma. You enjoy shopping, you go, everybody goes, Simpson Sears, Save on Food, there's collective karma. But in collective, that is the individualistic karma. Why? All these shoppers in Save on Food, in their pocket, the amount of money is not the same. Some people don't have to look at the price. They pick and choose the best. Organic, always go organic. They don't care about the price. They have a lot of money. And this miserable guy always have to take out this pet book. This is 50 cents less. This is 20 cents more. They always have to be on a budget. They didn't make enough money. They're always living in poverty. Or maybe they even have to depend on other people for the food. That's individual karma. The group karma, collective karma is the same, but individual karma is different. You see, so much in karma that we can talk about, so intricate, is the law of causation. We still have to have one session of karma, and I will give you more classification of it so that you know. So when you look at, next time when you're shopping in the supermarket, you know, oh, I'm coming to a collective karma. And let's see how my, you can watch people. Everyone is different. And some people have to pick the cheapest. Some people, they don't care about the money. They have lots of money. Some people have good health, some people bad health. Some people always live in a lap of luxury, and some always steep in misery. And some people are intelligent, some people are foolish. Is it because of some supernatural being imposed on them? No. They created their karma themselves. So, third, indefinitely effective karma. Indefinitely effective karma, it's karma, the effect of which will result in some future lives, not the next life. Indefinitely effective, that means you've done something good or bad in this life, you don't get the retribution in your next life. But it could be in the third, fourth, or fifth, or indefinitely. So how does that mature? The maturity depends on causes and conditions put together. And somehow, you could see example like this. There's John, and he's a bad guy, and I know he's a bad guy. He has a bad, he's doing bad things, but he always seems to be lucky. First of all, he was born in a rich family, and he's healthy, he's good looking, he seems to get the best. But this guy is really selfish, He didn't really care. He squandered his money away, and he fooled around. He's womanizing this guy, and yet he had the best of everything. Why? It's unfair. He should be doomed. He shouldn't be so enjoyable in his life, in the luxuries of life. Do you know that all those good karma that he performed in his previous life mature in this life? Because of indefinitely effective karma. Because all these conditions make sure that he enjoyed the fruits of this life. And all the bad things that he did in this life, the karma is going to get him in later lives. It has to mature yet. It will be stored. The time will come. Sooner or later, you can't get away. You can't hide. There's no place to hide. He can run, but he can't hide. He can run as fast as he can, but he can't hide. Because somehow karma will get him. And for example, there was an arahat at the time of the Buddha, Moggallana, Mahamoggallana. In one of his previous births, he killed his parents. As a result, he suffered a long time in hell with no intermission of suffering. He suffered and suffered in hell for many, many lifetimes, countless number of lifetimes. And even in his last birth, he was clubbed to death. He was arahat already. He was killed. He served his karma. You understand? Arahat, he was already an arahat, he was out from samsara, but he still kept his body. He would enter into parinirvana after the demise of this body. But his body was clubbed to death, was killed. Even that, he had to serve his karma, even though he was the arahat. So, that's karma. Whatever we do, remember this karma. Why you are suffering now? Because of karma. Can you change? Of course. No predestiny, no fatalism. You can always change for the better. Everything is impermanent. Everything is always changing. There is no unchanging entity. Everything can change. You are suffering now. Don't always think that you suffer. You start to improve, to reform, to cultivate good deeds. Perform, always purify your mind, purify your speech, purify your action. How? How do you do it? Meditation, mindfulness. Train your mind. You watch every action, every speech, every thought. What are we doing every Saturday? For so many years, you're being mindful. You were not mindful before. You were ignorant. You didn't know. Now you know there's certain things I can't do. Bad karma, I can't cultivate bad karma. So you're being mindful of yourself. You come to meditation, you train yourself. In other words, when you're meditating, you're adding on your good karma. You're watering your plant. You're putting fertilizers. You're giving it sunlight. You yourself giving all this nutrition to let the plant bloom. And one day it blossomed. It blossomed into Buddhahood. It blossomed into purity. One day you will be the Buddha. There's billions of Buddhas. What's the meaning of Buddha? The enlightened being. Pure of karma, no more karma. Buddha is beyond karma. Absolutely pure of karma. Did he depend on a supernatural being to purify his karma? No. He purified himself. After so many lifetimes, he purified himself. And he got to a point that his no more karma left. He's pure. He became the Buddha. You can be in that position. You're not different. You are the polluted being, the confused sentient being. And Bodhisattva and Buddha is the enlightened being. The Buddha, after being enlightened, he gave you the information how to enlighten yourself. He wanted to help you out. He wanted to give you the method. The method that he used to enlighten himself, he gave it to you so that you can enlighten yourself and enlighten others. Are you going to perceive that path of enlightenment? We call it path of purification. Are you going to pursue that path of purification? Or are you going to go through many, many lifetimes of reincarnation in the samsara? You're born and reborn. You may be lucky this lifetime that you practice Buddhism. You're mindful. You may not be lucky in your next lifetime. You could be in hell though. You could reincarnate into animal realm or the ghost realm. You have been in the human realm. You have the chance to practice. But if you keep on doing vicious acts, unwholesome speech, obnoxious personality, always being egoistic and selfish, you're paving your path to the three vicious paths. Animal realm, hell realm, and the ghost realm.